But tonight, we have one of my favorite Canadian fighters in the house, the Neil the Deal house. Here we are. And guess what, guys? You're not going to believe this, but this guy is by far my favorite Canadian guy. I didn't want to tell everybody that, but he really is my favorite guy. We got Scotty Robert Olson here tonight. They used to call him the Bulldog. He's a world champion. How you doing tonight, Scotty? You're looking good.
Thank you so much. I'm doing great, Neil. Thank you.
That's great, Scotty. So we're going to talk a little bit about Scotty tonight. I have a little question period with Scotty so you guys can learn a little bit more about how he went through his career and how he felt about the opponents that he was boxing against and through his eyes, you know what I mean? So we're going to start off with a little information about Scotty. He was born February 26, 1968. He had a total of 40 fights in his career. He had 34 wins. Scotty, fantastic, 34 wins for the country. Canadians, we love you, buddy. 34 wins, 25 knockouts. He only had 4 losses, all right, and 2 draws. All right, so his KO percentage, Scotty, nice one, 62.7, all right, knockout percentage. So we're going to talk about, guys, we're going to talk about some of Scotty's accolades and his awards just quick, then we'll let Scotty elaborate on everything. So he was in the Commonwealth Games, 1986. He won a gold medal. He was a gold medal winner. Scotty, nice work, buddy. Thanks for the country, man. You did it. I watched it. You're the bomb. All right. Then he went to the 1987 Pan American Games where he fought for Canada again. And then he reached the quarterfinals of the 1988 Seoul Olympics in the flyweight division or lightweight. I guess he'll explain to us a little more about the Olympics because this guy's an Olympian world champion, guys. You got to look into him. He's one of a kind. All right. He fought 11 times. Get this, 11 times in his career for world titles. So let's talk to Scotty a little bit more about this stuff. So Scotty, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh, just doing really, really well, Neil. You know, just very excited, happy to be on the show. And it's always nice to share a few stories. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about your amateur career. If we can start off as the amateur career. Now you had 11 fights as an amateur. I understand you won 6 and you lost 5. This is your amateur career. Do you have any notable fights that you remember when you were an amateur?
Well, I had a few more, and I was able.
That's all they're telling us. Well, you had more than that? Tell us about those ones then.
Yes. So actually, I had a thing in my amateur career. I started. I'm 14 years old, and I was able to start amateur boxing at that age, and I had ended up in my amateur career having 82 fights, and I won most of them. Yeah, I won most of them. I didn't lose very often.
Scotty's a winner, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, but it was hard, you know, coming up from how I came up is, you know, here I am I'm so small. I'm like 5 feet tall. So you know, I was picked on a little bit, teased a whole bunch. And a lot of it was in fun. So it was all good to me, but I was in a handful of sports as well. So I was in team sports, like we tried baseball. And anyway, any time that I was on a team sport, every time I would make a mistake, which was almost always, you know, that so much blame would go on to me. So I wanted to get out of team sports and go into something that was a little bit more one-on-one. And what better sport could I have found than boxing? But I didn't have any athletic ability. No athletic ability.
Really?
None. And
wow.
If we do any kind of sports, any kind of things, I'm not good at any other sport. But when I tried boxing.
Hockey? You never tried hockey or any of that?
I can't even skate. I can't even.
Wow.
I was planning the last couple of years.
Your footwork is amazing. Check out his footwork. You can't skate? Oh my gosh.
Can't skate.
That's a new one.
Well, I can move forward, you know, with but no, it's not good. It's not good. So the only things that I had in boxing, the two things I had one is that I naturally transferred my weight, which gave me punching power. And the second part is that I could take uncannily kind of shots. Like,
Oh, I've seen you take the
that could hurt me.
unbelievable, man, but you fed him out too.
Well, if they stood still and cooperated, I usually got them.
I saw that.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
listen, one of the amateur fights, I didn't know this until I was looking into you. I check you out quite often, obviously, but
Thank you.
I didn't really know this about you. But you fought Michael Carbajal when you were an amateur?
Yeah, we fought, let's see, as an amateur, we fought 3 times, and I only won once. So he's like he's a big fish. He's in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Like I'm in the Alberta Boxing Hall of Fame. He's like International World Boxing Hall of Fame. So
Yeah.
he's up there, and but I beat him, and I have beaten
Yeah,
him.
you beat him, all right. You beat him down.
Thank you. I beat him down once, and then the second time was I thought I should have got the decision.
You got robbed on that one.
Yep. The third time was in the Olympics, in the quarterfinals. So I needed to beat him to at least get into.
Was that the one where you were eliminated in the quarterfinals? That was the
I was
fight.
eliminated in that fight. Yeah, or in the tournament in that fight.
Right. And where did he end up, Scotty? Where did he end up from there after that? Did he win a
He
gold?
ended up fighting a Bulgarian in the final, and he lost. So he ended up with a silver.
Ah, good for him.
Although I fought that same Bulgarian in Bulgaria just a little bit before the Olympics. So I fought this guy, and he was like he was already 35 or something years old. And
wow,
I was in my earlier 20s. We went at it, and I never hit him once in the whole fight. we had the whole fight. I didn't hit him once, and we fought in a outside, sort of like an amphitheater sort of thing. Anyway, they didn't have a top to it, and every time I would miss, there was somebody that would hit a gong, and they go. And
gong show.
I could hit this guy. So I went through 3 rounds. I'm crying after the fight.
What are you gonna do?
I was so so distraught that I couldn't even hit the guy. So, and then I see him drinking alcohol and having a smoke after the fight, and I'm thinking, what? Here I am, I'm
he's throwing salt in the wound here.
I can.
Yeah. Well, don't forget him, Scotty. Maybe you'll see him out on the street one day, and then you can talk to him.
Yeah, then I would get him for sure, because I'm
absolutely. So listen, we'll move on here a little bit, Scotty. Who inspired you growing up, say in life? Like, who were your inspirations to decide, say, even to become a boxer, or maybe you had other aspirations when you were younger? Can you let the viewers know about that?
Yeah, thinking about that part, I feel that a lot of the first things that I wasn't allowed to fight. See, when I asked my mom, we met Al Ford, who is a former Canadian champion, and he challenged for a world title. So, but with Al Ford, meeting him, and then I wanted to be just like him when I grew up. I asked my mom if I could start boxing, and she said, obviously no, because if you have a son that
like my mom wouldn't let me get a dirt bike, too dangerous.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, remember that, Mom?
yeah. So yeah, my mom just said, like, no, you can't fight, and if you have a son that has no athletic ability, the last thing you'll put him in is boxing. So I figured, well, but I skipped school and I hit the heavy bag that they bought me for Christmas. I hit it nonstop until they found out I was skipping school, and then that was the trade-off. I got to start boxing, and you
had to go to school. So listen up, kids. Scotty's telling you right now, go to school, get an education, become a boxer in your spare time, and if you're
what was that last bit, Neil?
Oh, I was just saying that the kids should be going to school and getting an education. Like Scotty's saying, his parents said, you go to school, we'll let you hit the heavy bag, we'll let you become a boxer. So it's a good trade-off,
Mm-hmm.
So let let the kids do the boxing, but make sure they go to school. It's very important. Education is very important.
Absolutely.
Excellent words.
All right, so let's move on to the next question. What were some of your memorable fights? The ones that you felt it could have been at your best or at your worst. You know what I mean, Scott? Like things they don't always. It's life, right? Things happen, right? So
Absolutely.
just let the viewers out there know a little bit about maybe the best and the worst. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you know, leading up to the Commonwealth Games, that was a really nice time. Like I was winning pretty much everything um, nationally. I was winning all my fights nationally, so that those weren't any difficulties. So I figure, you know, I'm going to win the Commonwealth Games gold medal, and so I focused on that. But most of the attention was placed on the bigger fighters like Lennox Lewis and some of the big fighters that you know later became huge and stuff. So anyway, they focused on that on some of the fighters, not so much on me. So I was a bit of a dark horse and a little bit of a surprise. And
Boy, did you show them?
I did show them. I just like I did with I wanted to show all the kids in school that I wasn't a loser at sports, and the only sport I could find that I was any good at was boxing. So much like that, in the Commonwealth Games, I rose to the occasion, beat a couple really good fighters, and I was able to win an Olympic gold medal. So that was one of the highlights, was standing on the podium and the flags is going up and they're playing "Oh Canada," and I got tears running down.
Exactly, Scotty. Check it out, buddy. This is the one right here. This is on our heart. I got this tattooed on my chest. I'd show you, but I might be arrested. So, anyways, all Canadians, everybody out there. Scotty Olson is a Canadian. He fought for the country. Support him. Always support Scotty, eh?
Never wanted to. I never. It didn't even matter sometimes winning or losing, but you always tried to win. But I always wanted to compete well for my country, and that was big time. And
yeah, that made you feel. That gave you a different feeling, I guess, eh?
Yeah. It was beyond. It wasn't just winning; it was beyond winning because.
No, it's not about. Yeah, it was beyond winning. It's just you want to win so bad. I'm sure you. I mean. The whole country's watching you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was not, yeah, exactly, not just winning, but having at least anybody that was able to watch any of these fights, which was normally only in the bigger competitions that I was fighting in, but if they got to see the fight and they at least got excited and had fun and were entertained, then I did my job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm telling you, everybody out there, check out Scotty on YouTube. I'm sure there's fights out there, older fights of Scotty's. He was absolutely a gem, absolutely amazing. We're just going to ask him a couple more questions, guys. Scotty, you decided to retire. We obviously know that. What were the reasons at that time for you making that decision?
Horrible decision on my part, but in some ways, maybe one of the better ones too. What ended up happening, I took a fight. I moved up like 3 or 4 weight classes, and I fought a young undefeated kid named Steve Molitor, who's a Canadian fighter or was a Canadian fighter. And
yeah, we were going to talk about him with you in a minute here. It's Mr.
Yeah,
Steve
I ended up
Molitor.
losing that fight. I lost that fight, but I moved up a few weight divisions, so it was a little difficult. I'm 5 feet. He's about 5'7" or something like that. So it was.
You guys talk, Scotty. You guys talk at all? Are you guys friends now?
Do. Yeah, we were friends. Yes.
I kind of saw that actually. Was that fight at Casino Rama?
No, that fight he came to my hometown. So I got to get.
What was your hometown again, Scotty? Let everybody know.
Edmonton, Alberta. Yeah, and
right, Scotty's from
got
Edmonton.
to have my butt kicked a little bit around. So anyway, so losing that fight was one thing, but that was not a reason why I retired. The reason I retired from boxing was more so that I had a lot of pressure from my family, some friends too, that were just wanted to make sure that I was healthy and safe, and that, I'd had a long career. What else was I really going to get out of it? I had already been a world champion, there wasn't much more to.
Right. Yeah. 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 They were concerned for your well-being,
Yeah,
which is a beautiful thing. I'm sure you still had the heart and the drive, but like you said,
yeah.
maybe it just at the time made more sense, right?
Well, everybody wants you to retire, so they retire, 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 and you're getting it from a different. I was getting it from a lot of different angles, and
Right.
so I said, "Hell with it, I'll retire." Okay, guys, you got me. I'll pull the plug, but they didn't tell me what to do after.
Right. So I hear that you've been,
That was hard.
yeah, I've heard that from
Now,
quite a number of fighters over the years that it's kind of like a hockey player, any athletes. Once
mm,
their career is over, they have a hard time adjusting to
oh,
life with the general public, so to speak. So
yeah.
I can totally understand that, Scotty. And I think that you've probably had your struggles with it, but you seem pretty good to me right now, Scotty. You're looking
Oh,
good. You're looking good.
thank you so much. Yeah, we're getting a little older, and,
So,
and the beard's coming in a little more grayer now, but that
hey, like Neil the Deal, we got the same thing going on here. You know what I mean? Hey,
I
so
don't call it gray, I
hey,
call it
like
silver.
they say, women always told me, real men have facial hair. All right, Graham. I don't know what to say, but anyways. Um,
All Graham's
so
got it
how's your
going on
health?
too.
How's your health in
Oh,
general?
we
Because we
we
all know
had
you had that. Can you let the viewers know a little bit about the episode? Whatever
yeah, we
makes
had
you feel
we had
comfortable.
some struggles. I had
Yeah.
some struggles, and here I am, former athlete and always in top condition. And I didn't know what to do when I retired from boxing. I started selling cars, and I was into about my 12th year of selling cars at the same dealership. Very successful in doing so. And and then at nighttime, I collapsed in the bathroom, and my wife didn't know what was going on. I wasn't breathing. Um, so I had no breath. I didn't have a heart rate. So I had what was called not just a heart attack, but a heart attack that led to a cardiac arrest, which is a complete stoppment of your heart. So she called 911. They prompted her to do some compressions on my chest. I was able to well, they weren't able to start my heart at all in my house, so that they tried 4 times, and then a few times in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. They finally got it started just before they got me to the hospital.
Thank the Lord.
Isn't that something? And then they put me into a medically induced coma. So I was in a coma for a few days, and they didn't really think I was really going to make it out of there. And if I did somehow end up waking up, that they weren't sure that I would have much cognitive ability, or that I'd be able to speak, or so there's so many things that can happen when you're
A
deprived of.
lot of variables with that kind of a thing, I'm sure.
Yeah. So anyway, and then 3 days later, I must have heard the bell being counted or something, or I counted. I must have got up.
Ding, ding, ding. There you go. Wake them up.
Yeah. So yeah, I ended up waking up, and I was in the hospital for another 9 days or so, and so I actually recovered from the chances of surviving a cardiac arrest of the kind that I had was really slim. So I was really blessed with being able to
Well,
recover.
Scotty, we're so happy you're still with us. All the
Yeah.
viewers,
So, but
you're still
then
with us. Thank you.
well, then I do all of the things. I'm on a better exercise program, and I'm eating a little bit better, and I'm
Good,
taking
good.
these pills. And then 6 months later, I have another heart attack,
Oh
which
my gosh.
which I didn't really
I
tell.
never heard anything about that.
Yeah, so I have another one. So I'm like, oh my God, now what's going on? So it really brought my sail, like the wind in my sails
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fast for a while, and I was
To be
pretty,
expected.
yeah, a little bit hard. So, but I
When
said,
was that, Scotty, if you don't mind me asking? Because I think the first one was in 2015, if I wasn't.
It was, yes, yes.
What happened then?
That was the full cardiac arrest. So yeah,
And then
2015 full cardiac
something
arrest,
else,
and
I
6
guess?
months later in June, then it was more like a regular heart attack where I was walking
Oh,
the
just
street.
one of those regular ones. I can handle that, no problem, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, as long as your heart
The
doesn't.
guy's killing regular heart attacks, no problem.
But they put the first time they put in a handful of stents in my heart to heal me up and let the blood keep going through. And then the second time they did some stents. I think I've had 3 rounds of stents now. But so as long as the hospital doesn't run out of stents to put in my heart, I'll still be around.
Well, like I said, Scotty, you're looking really good.
Thank you.
I'm really glad that we were able to have you on the show tonight, everybody.
My pleasure.
Do you have any future plans from here on moving forward, Scotty, for yourself? Because we all know that you were coaching the coaches, but with your health, is there a plan going forward?
Yeah, I think, the coaching of coaches is always important. Sometimes just teaching a fighter, it just undermines what the coach is trying to do. So if I can give a few tips to the coach to tell the fighter, that ends up helping them in the long run and increasing the trainer's boxing IQ, then
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So
Sure.
I've done that, but I've been typing out my autobiography for a long time now.
Book
And
signings coming up.
yeah, so that I'm
Keep
getting,
your eye out for Scotty. Get an autograph copy.
it's
everybody.
getting there. It's getting there. So that tells a lot of the stories and a lot of things that were behind the scenes that I didn't disclose. I didn't disclose all of my hand injuries to the media.
Well, sure.
While I
I'm
was
sure there's
fighting.
1,000 stories.
Yeah, I didn't disclose a lot of things that I went through. There were a lot of
Well,
great.
you wouldn't want your opponents to know that either, right, Scotty? You don't want your opponents knowing what your injuries are, correct?
They pretty much knew that they'd known from the times that the media got a hold of the information and put it out there that my hand would break now and again. So, my feeling was just there's a few other times where, if I broke my hand again, which I continue to do so, but if I told the media again, then I would be kind of written off, or it's all about perception. If the media writes you off, then some other people might write you off just because they read something in the newspaper. So I didn't disclose any more breaks, and I think that helped my basic. What would it be? My fan base. I think my fan
Right.
base was a little bit stronger because I didn't.
Well, I was definitely part of the fan base. There's no doubt about it. From day one, my friend. And again, viewers, I want to thank you guys for being here live tonight with Neil the Deal. And obviously, you guys got to check out Bulldog Olson, Mr. Bulldog Olson. Give us one of these, champ. Give us. There you go.
All day long.
There you go. That's the one. Knocked them all out. Absolutely phenomenal. One of the best Canadians, humanitarian, absolute gem. Scotty, thanks a lot for coming out. Hopefully we can get together one day and have a coffee or something.
Oh, that would be. I would love nothing better. And no, I appreciate Chris Graham and for you as well, Neil. I'm very honored to be on the show. Really nice to talk a little bit of boxing. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, Scotty. God bless you, and God bless the family. And we'll see you soon. All right, people, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, we got some other guys coming up later this week. You might want to tune in tomorrow night. Scotty, we got a buddy of yours coming on, Donovan Boucher. You know Donovan?
I do know Donovan.
We got Donovan coming out tomorrow night. So tune in. Thanks for coming out. And always remember, stay off the pipe and don't forget to wipe. Have a good evening. Thanks, Scotty.
Thanks very much, Neil. Thanks very much, Scotty, for joining us tonight. And thank you, viewers, for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like us, hit that bell for the notifications, and we'll see you next week. Oh, no, sorry. We'll see you tomorrow night with Donovan Boucher. Thanks very much again, Scotty.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Graham.
Thanks for
Neil.
your time.
Take care, Scotty. Night.
Okay, take care.